Way back in 1989, Lexus launched the Lexus ES, and this is the brand new 7th generation. And coming up right now, here are the top 10 things you need to know. At number 10, we have this badge right there. It's the F Sport, and in fact, for the first time ever, you can now get the ES in the sporty F Sport model. There are in fact 3 different models of this car. There's this F Sport, there's the ES, and then of course there's the hybrid. Now Lexus expects to sell about 25% of the new ES with this badge, the F Sport. At number 9 is the fact that Lexus has introduced an all-new sedan in a market that is craving for crossovers. But for the first time, you Europeans will be able to buy this Lexus ES. It will be sold in 99 countries, including China. And in America, Lexus expects to sell about 50,000 ESs every year. Does this Lexus look familiar? If it does, it's because it's built on a platform that Lexus calls GAK, which is a very similar platform to the one that the Avalon and of course Camry are built on. It's a little bit sportier, but it also shares a powertrain with the Avalon. More interestingly, it also shares some parts from its bigger brother LS, specifically aluminum hood and fenders. At number 7 and number 6 is what's under the hood. So let's start with number 7, what's under the hood of this F Sport and the ES, because they both share the same powertrain. It's a 3.5 liter V6 that produces 302 horsepower and 267 pound-foot of torque. Now it is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission with paddle shifters, and it will do, according to Lexus, 0 to 60 in 6.6 seconds. Now that's enough power to chirp this car's wheels all day long. Now what's under the hood of the hybrid is very different from what's under the hood of this car. It's an inline 4 that produces 215 horsepower and is mated to a CVT transmission. Of course, that's not the interesting part. What is interesting is that Lexus says that when it's tested, the hybrid will get 44 mpg combined. Before we get to number 5, let's interrupt this top 10 countdown for a quick good, bad, and weird review. Let's start with the good. The good, of course, I think is the spindle grille. Now, a lot of you guys think that it's just too expressive, too bold. It looks like the open maw of a killer whale. But for me, at least on this car, the open and gaping maw of an orca looks really good. The bad, well, I sound like a broken record, but this car has engine note enhancement. It's becoming a thing in the auto industry. So when you switch it from Eco to Sport Plus, you get kind of a bigger growl from the engine note. I can try to demonstrate it to show you what I mean. So here we go, full acceleration, and then halfway through I'll switch to Sport Plus mode. Did you guys hear the difference? I kind of switch back and forth, so you can see just how the engine note changes when you accelerate. Now, I can't tell you how this car drives because they've embargoed driving impressions to give all the journalists a chance to review the car at the same time, but come back next week when I'll actually review this F Sport and tell you how it drives and how it is dynamically. Here's something weird. There's an analog clock kind of placed randomly near the display, but what's really weird is that a brand new car still comes with a CD player. Lexus says that the average buyer of the F Sport is going to be about 45 years old. Now, I'm quite a bit older than that, and the last time I used a CD was, well, at least 10 years ago. Let's resume this countdown with number 5. Now, Lexus says that this ES competes with German rivals like the 3 Series, the C-Class, and of course the Audi A4. But to me, this is a very big car. In fact, there's a lot of room in the back seat. Let me show you. And I know you're wondering, inside the trunk, 16.7 cubic feet of space. That's quite a bit. For all you Toyota fans, you've known that the forbidden fruit was always Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Not anymore. The Lexus ES gets Apple CarPlay and Amazon's Alexa. In fact, you can use Alexa at home to do things like start your ES. That's pretty cool. And as a fan of the Apple products, I also like the fact that finally a Toyota product has Apple CarPlay. At number 3, you may be wondering, what's the difference between this F Sport and the regular ES? Well, it's right here. No, not the knob, but the fact that this knob changes the adaptive suspension on this car. So when I change it from Eco to Sport Plus, it makes the ride firmer. It doesn't give me any more horsepower, it doesn't give me any more torque, but it does give me a sportier ride. Plus, I get standard blacked out grille, which you know I like, and 19-inch sporty wheels. And number 2 is the fact that since this car will be sold around the world, it will also be basically built around the world. First, it'll be built in Japan, and then, you guessed it, right here in the good old US of A. Full disclosure, my mom actually owned an ES for like 10 years. And ES was always kind of the entry-level sedan to the Lexus brand. You know, a rebranded Camry or Avalon, given a little bit of that Lexus luxury. But with this 7th generation, you can really tell that Lexus has put a lot of engineering, thought, and development into this, making it its own car. Yeah, it still shares a platform with the Camry and the Avalon, and that because this is their most popular sedan, it's kind of gotten that royal treatment, making it that much better. Of course, at number 1 has to be the fact that the car will go on sale right around September. Now, pricing has not yet been revealed, but you can expect it to start at about the same price point that the current car does, which is $40,000. And if you want that bad boy, you better be prepared to pay significantly more. We always like to do a bonus at TFL, and here's your bonus. This Lexus ES will be the first to come with Lexus Safety Plus 2.0. That is a mouthful, but it is a suite of safety technologies, including lane keep, autonomous braking, blind spot monitoring that you get as standard when you buy this Lexus to make sure that, well, not only are you safe, but the people around you are safe. As always, this is Roman reporting for the Fast Lane Car. Check out tflcar.com for more news, views, and of course, brand new Lexus ES F Sport reviews. See you guys next time. Remember, next week we'll have a complete review of this when driving embargoes are lifted and when I can talk about how it drives.